In this video, I'm going to show you how to install or how to do the base installation of Arch Linux on VirtualBox. So the first thing that you want to do is go on Google, search for Arch ISO. The first link that is by archlinux.org, you have to click on the downloads link and you'll be directed towards a website which provides you different links to download that. But I prefer kernel.org. Here are two links. This one is not secure. The second one, kernel.org, is secure. I prefer this one because this is a site that hosts many different kernels for different types of many different ISOs for different types of kernels there are out there. So you will want to go and click on this ISO link. It will prompt you and ask if you want to save it or not. You will click on save and then it will be saved to your system. And you can go ahead and then match it against match the hash of the ISO against these MD5 sums or SSH1 sums in order to verify the signature. I can create a video on that later. And since I have done all of that already and I have downloaded the ISO, I will go ahead and create a new box called Arch Test. We'll call it Arch Test. I'll assign it a memory of 3000, around 3000 MB. You don't have to assign it that much, but because I'm recording this video, I will like to keep the RAM as much as I can. I will leave the default settings as they are, as it is, and I'll assign a hard disk space of 80 to 90 GB. I will now attach the ISO by clicking on settings of this Arch test box and then on storage, then this empty thing here, and you can choose a disk file by navigating to wherever you have downloaded it. I am already getting this option here of the latest 2022 March edition. So now we'll click on this, double click on this or start button, and then it will come here. So we will go ahead and hit enter on the first option and it will start loading. So it is loading some stuff, bootstrapping, and in the meantime what I would like to do is wait. Okay, maybe you can't see it. Let me add that. Focus Arch test. And now it might be visible. I'll go ahead and do this much. Okay, and I hope it is visible. So we are inside as root. It is loading. Good. Yeah, so we are inside as root. Let me just confirm it. Okay, I can increase the size. Just a second. So the size is increased. Okay, so let me test if I'm connected to the internet or not with the ping command. I'll be pinging the DNS server of Google and we are receiving some packets. I'll control C, and so we are connected to the internet. I will check my IP address is this thing. Okay, let me go ahead and synchronize the packages. This is equivalent to the apt update in Debian systems. The package manager in the Debian system is apt. Here it is pacman, and some the commands are different a little bit, but as you practice you will understand. So this will not take another. So it's done. Let us look at the disk we have here with lsblk, the list block. We have got an sda. You can be getting vda or something. I've got sda there, and let's partition the disk with fdisk the dev/sda. Now I'll say new partition and hit enter. Okay, I'll accept it, default, and then I'll add 2g. You can be adding 500 MB with 500 M or 2G, whatever you want, and then another partition and this time I'll leave everything default. When I do that, the rest of the storage area that is left will be assigned to this partition, and we can see 84.9, the rest was assigned. We will hit add, we'll press W and hit enter, so write and save. We are out of it. Now if I do lsblk to list the blocks, we can see that there are two partitions, sda1 sda2, with the assigned storage areas that we had given them, 2G and 84.9G. So now let's give them file system. So I will be giving ext4 ext4 to the dev slash sda1, because it is very stable file system for Linux systems. And then I will be giving btrfs to dev btrfs, or to dev sda2, and it is done. Now nothing will be shown here right now, but now let us mount it sda2 to the mnt, and for that we have to create subvolumes, because we're using subvolume. Create is the command to create subvolume, and it will create a subvolume, this thing, a home and a var, and we will unmount the slash mnt, and now we, okay, slash mnt, and now we can go ahead and mount with some options the subvolume that we just created. The option I using first is compress, sorry, no a time, then compress is zstd, and then the space underscore cache, the version 2, the stable version, ssd if you have, and for ssd discard is a sync. The subvolume we are talking about here is this dev sda2 from the, and on mount empty. Okay, something I might have spelled something wrong. Let me discard here, discard anything else. Subvol, no time, I think. Okay, so it is mounted now, and before mounting the other subvolumes, the home and where, we will have to make directories for them in the mount. So I'll go ahead and do that, but I'll also make directory for mounting dev sda1 called bootefi, and the home and where are as they are. So let's mount them. Let's mount home is mounted here. Now let's mount where, not var, whatever. So these two are mounted. Now let's mount the dev sda1 to mount slash boot efi. And now if we list block lsblk, we will see that mount points, on the mount points, these are mounted properly as we had uh, mentioned them to. So now we will be installing the base packages using pacstrap on mount the base, the Linux from there. I'll do the git. I will use new vim. I will do btrfs okay, dash progs. I'm using Intel CPU, so I'm specifying Intel dash U code. For AMD, it will be AMD dash U code. You can check that up on ArchWiki. So this might take some time. So now the base packages are installed. Let's now move to generating the file systems tab with the UUID and appending that to etc fstab. There I missed a slash, and it's done. Let's ask to root into change root into mnt. So now we are inside a system. I will do time date ctl and list the time zone. So I think there's one universal. Let me look for it. Something, yeah, there are two. So let us link the user share zone info universal to etc local time, and that's done. Let's synchronize our hardware clock to system clock to etc, and that's the command sw clock system etc. That is done. And now let's edit the local file local.gen. Okay, I will be searching for something by hitting the forward slash en underscore us dot utf. That is the thing. I'll hit enter to go there. I'll uncomment this line, write and quit, and now I will generate the local dash gen. I will do that for me, and the same thing I will be appending language equal to en underscore us dot utf dash 8 hyphen 8 into appending into etc local dot conf. Now after that I will be uh, giving my system a host name. I'll call it Blackpearl, and I'll append that to hostname etc hostname, and for the with the same thing I'll be editing with neovim the nvim the etc hosts here 127.0.0.1 tab. This is localhost localhost. Okay, and the IPv4 localhost. This is IPv6 localhost host, and then 127.0.1.1, and the host name Blackpearl for me. It can be something else for you. Blackpearl.local domain. Sorry, local domain, and a tab. Then again your host name. Blackpearl and escape colon quit. I quit. Okay, so that's good. We have done this. Now let's give our root a password with this. Retype it. I have given my root user a password. Now let's install the GRUB bootloader and some other networking devices with pacman grub fi boot manager network manager network manager applet WPA supplicant dialog, and we'll go with Bluetooth use and use utils. Bluetooth printing service scopes. We can do what XDG utils, XDG user directory, right? This, then pulse audio for audio, AUDIO, ALSA dash utils, and base development, DEVEL, base devel, and Linux headers, HADERS. That should be it, and of course it might take some time. First of all, let me user this, and it will be taking some time. Okay, so we have downloaded the grub and other networking packages. So now we will install grub with this command, and my target is i386pc for me. You can find what your target is on rswiki, and the bootloader id is equal to grub. What happened? Target. Okay, it's target. What is grub install bootloader? What happened? Grub install tar man. Okay, so its target is equal to athletics. So no error reported. Now, since it's done, let's also install a thing called OS Prober that helps to detect the presence of some other operating system on the hard drive that we are installing this arch on. So to enable that, we'll edit the etc default grub file and go at the very end by pressing the page down, uncomment this line related to the OS Prover thing, right and quit, and then we will generate the configuration and it this configuration file of grub in boot grub grub.configure.cfg, and this should be done. Now we will be adding a user. Okay, so we should add a user with user add dash m jack, for example, and dash m will add home and maybe mail to also. So let's give jack a password. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, retype it. Okay, now Jack is not a super user, of course, but Jack does not have super user privileges right now too. If we do id Jack, we see the groups. Jack is in. We should give him the super user privileges with user add dash ag add group the wheel group in user Jack for user Jack whatever. And I misspelled something. For example, user add ag wheel Jack nothing. User mod it is. Okay, very good. I forgot about that. Jack user mod ag. I was doing user add ag, so this one. Okay, so the A for add maybe and G for group. Wheel is a group. Now this is not it. We will also have to edit the with specifying the editor. We will have to edit vsudo. You might have heard of vsudo, and we'll look for wheel. It is here. Uncomment the first one. We have two. We'll just uncomment the first one. You will read it why I'm doing that once you do that. And now if I've done everything correctly, I think we have added Jack as a user with super user privileges. So now let me go ahead and enable some network services with systemctl enable the network manager, and it's done. Now enable the Bluetooth with this command and fstream.timer, which helps the SSD. So this thing, and then we'll also enable the printing services cups. It's done. We have enabled services. Now the last thing we will want to do is edit the mkinitcpio.conf cpio. Let's see where it is. Edit it, and in the modules we will like to add btrfs. Close it. because we have used btrfs. Now right quit, and now let's generate the mkinitcpio-p, the initramfs with Linux. I mean in Linux, on Linux. mkinit init wow initcpio. Okay. So once this is done, we will be done with installing our base system. The base installation of Arch Linux will be completed, and we will exit out of here and reboot and log in as the user we created named Jack. So it's done. Let's exit. Let's umount dash r the mnt. Okay, slash mnt. It's unmounted, and now reboot the system. Let me just, so it is done. It is rebooting. Let me see if you can see that or not. Okay. Okay. So we will go ahead and boot existing OS, because yeah, we have created an OS, and this is our GRUB welcoming us. We will go ahead and choose the first option, hit enter, and this will increase the, let me adjust that now. Do we have to? No, we don't have to. Okay. Okay. So it says Blackpearl login. My name is Jack at Black, and I will enter the password that I had. So Jack at Blackpearl is logged in now. If I do, who am I and why, who am I? Okay, so we have this. If I do pwd, we can see we are in the home of Jack, and let me try sudo pacman dash s y for synchronization, which is equivalent to sudo apt update, and if I do a u at the end, it means upgrade to. So it will update and upgrade. It will ask me for the password because I'm using sudo, and since the command is executing, which means, and it means that we are having sudo privileges, so it will go ahead and say that there's nothing to do, nothing to upgrade. So if you have followed me till here and you were able to do everything, then congratulations. If you missed something, or if I was not able to explain something properly, please do comment, and also research on the Arch Wiki and try to do it yourself also. So this was the base installation of Arch Linux. Thank you for watching.